So this is the last lesson in this unit, and your test is going to be posted on Wednesday of this week. So um, this isn't technically hard. It just pulls together like 3 or 4 different things that we've talked about. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make 2 different videos for this. This first one here, if you can follow along and you get it, great. And then I'm going to post a second one that does another problem just because I don't want to make like a 20-minute video. I try and keep them like 7-8 minutes, and I just don't want this one to be too long-winded and people just shut down halfway through it. So I'm going to shut it down halfway through it, and then I'll just make a second one that if you still need a little bit of help, you can do that one too. So the big idea today is we've got this loan, a car loan, house loan, whatever, and we've been making payment. And then after a certain number of payments, we get that statement that says, your remaining balance is whatever dollar amount. And you're like, you know what? I think I can pay this off. So the goal is to pay off a loan early. And when you do, you don't have to pay the interest that you would have paid if you kept making those monthly payments. So you've paid a little bit of interest every month. You've made a payment. And then that last month, you have to pay some interest on the final payment, which was the lesson previous to this one. So if you have not done the final payment lesson, go back and do that one first, because you have to be able to do that before you can calculate your savings on a loan here. So part of this is going to look familiar if you did that previous lesson. Excuse me. You have to be able to calculate 1 month's worth of interest. We'll walk through that as an example. You've got to be able to calculate the final payment. Well, the final payment is going to be whatever your previous balance was on your statement plus the interest that you just calculated. Now, here's the last part that's new. To figure out how much interest you saved, you're going to take what the loan would have cost you if you had run the entire course of the loan, right? And you're going to subtract off any payments that you already made, and then that final payment. And that will tell you that the difference there is going to be how much money you actually saved because you didn't have to pay the interest there at the end. Depending on the term of the loan, the percentage rate, it might be a little bit of money, it might be a lot of bit of money. It just kind of depends. Okay, so this one's already partially worked out for us, just so you can kind of see what's going on here. We've already done all of this stuff before, so this isn't anything new. I'm just going to tack on the last part of this. So the Collinses have a loan, $1,800 loan, 12% interest for 6 months, yada, yada, yada. This is out of a book. That's why it's referring to pages and figures. What's the final payment if they repay the loan with the 4th payment? So these people have made 3 payments already, and then that 4th payment, they're going to pay off all the remaining principal and the interest that they still owe for that last month. So their previous balance is listed right here on their statement, $913.70. No work needed there, just there it is. So we need to calculate the interest on that last month. So they had $913 balance times their 12% times 1 out of 12 because it's 1 month of interest. So their interest on that last month is $9.14. So the final payment, it's balance plus interest, boom. Their last payment to be done with their loan is $922.84. Okay? Pause this if you need to. Read through that. This is all stuff that we've done previous to today. Okay? So what we're going to do now is try and figure out how much interest they would have saved. So, excuse me, this was a 6-month loan. Okay, so I'm going to kind of try and explain the different pieces of this. This was a 6-month loan. So this first part here is how much they would have paid back, right? 6 months, $310.50 every single month. That was in the table if you go back and look at it. So this part right here is calculating what the loan should have cost them. Then here, we're subtracting off the payments that they did make. They made 3 payments, $310.50. And then that final payment at the end, what did that, you subtract that off too. Now, this looks a little funny. I'm not going to do it this way when I do my example. They wrap this in parentheses, so they're adding. I just subtract them individually. What this person did when they typed up this example was they added the sum and the final payments together and then subtracted at once. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, you're subtracting. So what they've done here, their previous payments and that big final payment of $922.84, That's $18.54.34. If they subtract that from what they would have paid, they saved $8.66. Not a whole lot of money. It just kind of depends. You're going to save $8. Me personally, depending on the loan, if it's only going to save me $8, I would probably just let it ride out for the next 3 months, so I'm not dropping $900 all at once on a payment. Okay, I'm going to do one of these problems real quick. Excuse me, and then I'll do a separate one in a separate video. So here's what we got. In problem 2, that's referring to something else. You had a 12-month loan of $1,200 at 12% interest. That's a lot of 12s. It had a balance of $816.04 after the fourth payment of $105.56. How much did you save by paying the loan off at the fifth payment? Now, there's some information in here that you don't necessarily need because we were given the monthly payment. It is possible that you will have to figure out the monthly payment like we've been doing and then proceed from there. So this was originally a 12-month loan. They should have paid $106.56 every single month, but they only made 4 payments, of $106. And now I'm going to subtract off this last part here. I'm going to have to calculate my final payment. So my final payment, the balance was $116.04. Probably should have done this beforehand. They had a 12% loan, and it is 1 month's interest. So the interest on that last month is $8.16. Okay, so the final payment was the $816.04 plus the interest of $816. So our final payment here is going to be $824.20. Okay, this is the total repayment, right? If we just made those monthly payments, this is what we did repay. And this is our final payment. Okay, so if I take that 12 payments of $106.56, we only made 4 payments of $106.56, and then that last big payment of $824.20, we saved $28.28.